Hello, Evan, Clay, and Marty. Welcome back to school. My name is Mr. Fritz. William is my first name, and welcome to Introduction of Agriculture online. So it's going to be a little different than what I'm used to. And granted, I did online last spring, but this has kind of been planned, so it'll be a little different for us. So before we get going, I want to introduce myself so you guys get an understanding of who I am and how I teach so that you guys get comfortable and so we can make a plan of action for what we're going to be doing. So again, Mr. Fritz, this is my start of my 21st year of teaching agriculture. I started my teaching career in Groton, South Dakota. So you might know where that's at. It's basically kind of just south of here in South Dakota. Then I spent 17 years teaching up in Rolla. So if you don't know where Rolla is, you can go up by the Canadian border, kind of in the center of the state, and then go down about an inch on a map, and you're going to find Rolla. And then I just finished my first year teaching here in Valley City at the Career and Tech Center last year. So, starting my 21st year of teaching agriculture. My background in agriculture, grew up on a farm that was basically owned by my brother Jeremy, my sister Becky, and I. My parents had off the farm jobs. Our farm was very small. I mean, at the most, we had 15 cows owned by my brother, my sister, and I. We also owned some sheep. At one time, we started out raising rabbits. My parents believed in wanting us to understand and respect animals. So they wanted us to raise animals, and they started us out in, I believe, the second, third grade, can't quite remember. They bought us each a rabbit that we took care of, and we raised rabbits for years till we finally decided that, you know what, we're done with rabbits. So we went right into cattle. Got my first heifer back in the 4th grade, and then just built my herd. My sister built her herd, and my brother built his herd. We eventually, they were Black Angus, so I'm familiar with Black Angus. My sister had a Hereford. We raised sheep. My sister and I did. My brother wanted nothing to do with sheep, so we raised sheep for a while, all through high school. And we also, as we got older into high school, like 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I guess that's considered high school, we also added in raising and finishing out brown Swiss dairy steers. So we bought them from the farmer, raised them to market, and then just sold them. So our farm was to create money for us, for spending money, okay? We also had jobs off the farm, but nice thing is, it's really neat to say that, you know, us kids own the farm, and my dad just helped us. He grew up on a farm, was a farmer for a while before he sold out. So big decisions were kind of made by him, and we got to make the smaller decisions. Like, for example, we had to raise Black Angus. We didn't really get a choice. I had no idea why we had to raise brown Swiss dairy steers. It's just something our dad wanted us to do, so we just followed it. So that is my knowledge. I did go to South Dakota State, so don't hold that against me. I guess when I was going there, did I have any idea that I was going to be moving to North Dakota? No. So I did that. I went to South Dakota State I have a degree in agriculture education. And then I started teaching. So always have been around agriculture my entire life since I was born, because I was born into a dairy farm. We sold out of it, and then we've always just lived on some type of farm growing up. Outside of agriculture, I basically have 2 hobbies. I love to read, and I love to run. I probably did a lot more reading this year than running. I was signed up for like 3-4 marathons. You know, they're all not happening, so, which is fine. I can go back to running for fun. So But that, yeah, so other things that I like to do, I do once in a while, I like to go paddle boarding. I have a paddle board. I mean, I'm a lake person, but I only like to go to the lake maybe once or twice in the summer, and then I'm done. So I have a paddle board that I use twice a year, but which is okay because it's something different that I like to do. So that's a little bit about me. We'll get into what you're gonna have to be doing your return, but we'll get I'll sign that a little bit later. So one thing with this class, most of it will be me doing a video. Okay, I have found that this is easier to do because when we do an activity or a lab, you can actually see it being done versus me trying to type it up into an email and hit send, and then you don't understand the email. This way, you're going to get a video of me doing the activity, and then you can like stop it or pause it, do part of it, start it up again, pause it. A lot easier than trying to understand an email. So I've noticed this is what I did last year. So I will link the YouTube channel that I use. So if you just want to follow it, go right ahead. What we should get into. So Intro to Agriculture is meant for kids who really have never been enrolled in an agriculture class before. So it's a lot of, we're going to be covering a lot of different areas. Okay. It would be nice. We got to get this to go. See, this is why, and okay. There we go. It's going to happen. Technology. Sometimes it just doesn't work so good. I hope you guys can see this. I have the Smart TV pulled out, but I'll be talking through it. So, kind of did the introductions. You're going to actually have even though Wednesday's your first day of school, you're probably not going to get this till Thursday, so we'll do that. So, kind of the stuff that we're going to be covering here in class is I am going to teach you what FFA is. FFA is, if you know anything about 4-H, is very similar to 4-H. It's a agriculture organization for the youth that are enrolled in agriculture education. You will be automatic members of FFA just because of the way the previous ag teacher has set up the program here, but we'll go through it. There might be activities that you might like in there, but if you don't do anything in it, it's okay. It doesn't cost you anything to be a member, so you're just going to be an FFA member. So we're going to do some activities related to FFA to see if that's something you want to. I always tell kids don't dislike something until you try it. So that's what I usually want kids to do, is at least try it before you say no. Okay, we are going to go over some leadership type activities once in a while. Goal setting, personal development, career development. It's kind of something that most classes should be doing with you. So we will explore, for example, leadership. I also will put career search in there. So we'll be exploring different careers in agriculture to kind of see what sparks an interest, if agriculture is a career for you. But if you think about it, what we're going to learn in agriculture, if you decide to major or go into a field outside of the agriculture, a lot of skills are back and forth. For example, I always tell kids, we're going to talk about veterinary medicine, but some of those same skills are going to transfer over into human medicine. You know, for example, I have a vet science class. When we do sutures, the way you do a suture on a cow and you do a suture on a human is the same, but on the cow, the suture material is a little stronger because of the skin and the hide is stronger. So same concepts, you just got to learn the materials you're using might be a little different. If you want to, for example, if you want to be an ag loan officer at a bank, well, that's an accounting or an ag business degree. But let's say you just go to a bank where you're just a loan officer. Same skills apply back and forth. So we will cover agriculture stuff, but if you're not into agriculture, but at least the skills you're going to be learning can be transferred either way. All right, AET, we'll get to that a different day. It's just kind of a way Sometimes I do have kids journal like what's going on in their class. So it's nothing to stress about, but we'll do that at Liberty. We will go through North Dakota agriculture. So we'll cover what North Dakota agriculture is. We'll go through animal science. So this is kind of like livestock production, if you want to call it. Crop science, soil science, food science, precision agriculture, world agriculture. I think that is important, especially when we talk about imports and exports. I think that's important. That, for example, our soybeans, I haven't really followed the markets lately because watching the news is depressing. So we looked at, if we take a look at a couple years of the soybean market, it's better, but it's not as good. But why? Why are exports and imports good? Why are markets down? Why are markets high? So we kind of go through some of that. And we're also going to go through some agribusiness. And how I usually do that is I might make you start up a fake business and we'll go from there. So we'll get through this stuff first because I think this is important. I don't know if you know any other ag teachers out there. I always call myself, I love production agriculture. And from my understanding is that you guys come from farming, maybe. So that's production agriculture. I love teaching about production agriculture, but production agriculture is a very, very small portion of agriculture. So we have to learn to cover. So you're looking at this. How does food science fit under agriculture? Well, food science is agriculture. Okay, we're going to get into food development. That actually fits under agriculture. So, of course, precision agriculture, the drones. I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe someday when I come over to visit you, we can fly some drones. Of course, that all depends on the weather. If the day I've set up and it's raining out, we're not going to fly drones that day. So, we're going to cover some areas where you're going to think, how is that agriculture? Agriculture is a wide industry, so it fits a lot of things. So even wildlife and fisheries falls under agriculture. So that's something that we are going to be covering. Okay, I got it to flip. There we go. I just got it to. All right. Your first day of school, second day of school, due on Friday. How about that? Is to introduce yourself to me. Okay, I will attach this in. We will communicate by email. So I'm going to make up a group in our 365 account. So we're going to communicate that way. If you prefer Google, we can try it. I'll probably send it to both your K-12 and your Google. I'm starting to become more of a Google user in the sense of like PowerPoints and creating documents, but I still use my 365 because you can just copy links and stuff. So if you prefer, I have your 365 account, but if you want to add your Google account in there, go right ahead because then you'll get the stuff through Google also. Okay, so what I want you to do for me is you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to tell me your name, a little bit about your family, kind of your school activities, your hobbies, and I would like to know your background in agriculture. What do you know? Is your family involved in agriculture? Even if you tell me what your parents' job careers are, I'll be able to say, oh yeah, that links to agriculture in this way. And then sometimes the reason why I want to know your background in agriculture, because if I'm covering a topic and let's say you're all crop farmers, we're going to still cover crop science, but maybe I don't have to go basic. Sometimes I start out basic with a topic to see what your knowledge is, and then we go from there. So, for example, if you are all crop farmers and you can go out to a field and I give you seed and you can identify soybeans and corn and wheat and canola and all of the major crops in North Dakota, I'm going to quickly move past that because that would be too easy and I don't want to bore you. I want to keep you interested in agriculture. I want to actually expand your knowledge of what agriculture is. So really telling me what your background in agriculture is awesome because then I will know what directions I should go for you guys. How are you going to reply back to me? I'm giving you 3 options, okay? You can write me an email if that's what you so choose to do, but please be descriptive in the email so that I can picture, okay, this is what he knows, these are his hobbies. You don't have to attach a photo of yourself unless you want to. Go right ahead. You can create a short video and share it with me. I'm trying to figure out, for some reason, I try to create Flipgrid. I don't know if you guys have ever used Flipgrid. I like Flipgrid because it's only going to be between you and I, because I created a class just for us, so no one else will see it because it's a private group between us 4. All right? Flipgrid apparently today is throwing a tantrum. On my end anyways, I can't seem to get logged into that group I created. So if you wanted to create a video and share it, go right ahead. I don't have a problem. Or you can create some type of flyer with photos of yourself, I guess, that show me who you are. So would I call it a collage? No. Because, for example, you might want to type in, like, for example, let's say you have a photo of yourself driving the tractor. You know, here's me driving the tractor. The type of farm that we have is a crop farm. We raise corn and soybeans and wheat. We have about 3,500 acres. If that's what you are, so that's what you can tell. Maybe you raise crops and livestock. So go ahead and share. Any 3 options work for me. One is not better than the other. So you won't get bonus points if you do one or the other. It depends on, also it kind of tells me how creative you are, if you so choose. But again, remember, I just want to learn who I am going to be working with. I think sometimes teaching and students is more of a job. You know, I'm your boss, guiding you through a career. So it's a good way of looking at school, is that your teacher is your boss guiding you. So, but anyways, a few other things about this class. I try not to make the videos too long because I do want to, as you're in your class time, is that, you know, you watch the video and be able to get the assignment done. Now, sometimes an activity might be a 2-day activity, so just be ready for that. So I don't expect it to be done right away. So we are going to be using a couple books here. I'm going to try to get those over to you this week. I'm going to be honest, you guys, I didn't know that you started school today. It's Wednesday. I did not know you started today. So the center really doesn't start school till next Wednesday, but I thought, why not start with you guys? So you're going to be using one of these as a foundation of your class, okay? This, and then we base our activities off topics in here. A lot of these topics are what I had the previous slide. I don't know if I can go back. See, this is why I like Google Slides. It's a little easier to work with. There we go. A lot of these topics are in here, and I like to use this because it's a basis. Plus, I like to relate everything to the real world, so you understand that what I am teaching you isn't just fluff to cover your school day. It is actually used outside of course, my walls and your walls. So that's the way it's going to work. So I'll try to get those over to you sometime this week, probably on Friday. I think I'm going to Fargo anyways. Then on once a month, or maybe even twice a month, depending on my director here, I'm going to come to Maple Valley, and we're actually going to do some labs. You'll have to do some labs on your own, or some activities, but some of the harder ones, where I should probably be in person, I will be over there. So expect a couple, 3, I should say, videos per week, 2 activities per week that are graded. So some weeks it might not, depends on the activity itself. Some activities might take longer, so don't be worried that, oh, he didn't have 2 activities. Might be only 1, depending on how tough the activity is. So, and the activity also might be in stages. So other than that, I look forward to hearing from you. Let's see if I get back. Now I'm picking up on how to use PowerPoint 365. Looking forward to hearing from you about who you are and kind of your story, I guess. So I will cut off so that you can get this done. So we'll see you another time.